Hello, my name is Tammy Whitehurst, and I am the co-owner, along with Lori Boroff, of the Christian Communicators Conference. And we have brought to you 4 unstoppable women that we cannot wait to introduce you to. They're going to answer a few questions that even you might have about going to the conference. What we're so excited about this year is that it is coming to Texas. Yeehaw and everything in between when it comes to Texans. Yes, we are big, we are loud, and we're unstoppable sometimes. People do roll their eyes at us, but we love everybody. So as we come in and we're talking about this conference, Lori and I are so excited to share with you Robin Reese, who is a 2017 graduate, BJ Garrett, who's a 2019 graduate, Kathy Crafty, who is a 2018 graduate, and Robin Luftig, who's a 2016 graduate. What I love that we are all connected, that we still stay in touch, and that we want to add to this team. We are all about collaboration, not competition. So Lori, go ahead and get this kicked off.
I would love to. I'm Lori Boroff, one of the co-directors, and it is just my joy and my privilege to just pour into all of you ladies and to see what God's going to do in your lives. We've seen him working, and he's going to continue to work, and it's just so thrilling to be a part of what he's doing in your lives. And I have a question for a couple of you that I would really appreciate just honest answers on. We are a little different. Our conference is a little different because lots of times when you register for a conference, you put your name in, put your money in, and then you just kind of sit and wait for the conference dates. But we don't do that. We're a little different because what we offer you, as soon as you register, we invite you in to a private Facebook page. It's your own for that year. So this year's 2021. Kathy, you were in the 2018 Facebook group, and we all have our own little groups. Why do we do that? It's so we can connect. It's so we can get to know each other and build friendships before we even get to the conference. So I would just like to ask BJ your thoughts on that idea and how that impacted you when in 2019 when you were signing up for the conference.
Well, I mean, to be very honest, initially I was just like, oh no, not another group that I have to be participant in, because we kind of get into a bunch of things, but this group was so different. And as each new woman began to come into the group and introduce themselves, and leading up to the months before the conference, I mean, you really get to know these ladies, and they just begin to just introduce themselves and tell you, and encourage you. And so by the time that I got to Colorado, they were already my friends. And so it wasn't like going into this strange group of ladies. I knew their ministries. I knew, about their families. I knew them intimately because we were all very active in the group. Now, if you weren't very active in the group, it wasn't quite the same, but the ones that were active in the group, they're still active in the group over a year later. We're all still friends. We're all still very connected. And it's even more powerful now after the fact, because anytime that we have like these huge milestones or these huge events or big accomplishments or even big needs, prayer requests, that's where we all go. And they're my sisters. An amazing group.
I think you hit the nail on the head. That's our hope, that we can all connect that way. Kathy Crafty, did you have anything to add on that?
Well, it's interesting. I didn't even realize I was in the group. And then as BJ started talking, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We did do that before 2018. But I'm still in the group because I'm still getting all this information. And so I made a list of things that we do for each other. Like, I think it's good that I don't even know I was in the group still. These are just my friends now. I mean, because like BJ said, there's just some groups you think, oh, not another notification. But in this case, these are just my friends. I'm hearing from them. So we pray for each other. We were praying before we ever met, which some people really, it was a challenge to get there. So Having them walk through the door was already an answer to prayer. But also now afterwards, as I was thinking about this interview, I started realizing these are people that I've prayed for now for those many years. I want to read my list if I can find it here. I made some notes. We pray for each other. We keep in touch. We've traded blog guest posts. We've offered comments on each other's posts. They've been guests on my show. Like 3 out of the 6 people in this Zoom call have been on my show, Fireside Talk Radio. We offer encouragement to each other. It's my CC sisters that I first contacted to endorse my 2 books. And this is just powerful stuff to do together. And I want to say this, because I'm a writer more than a speaker, so I really need speaker help. Best of all, I know I'm not crazy and alone in thinking there's hope for our culture. Our small voices are powerful together. Changing the culture for good happens when we do it together. I loved your words, Tammy, collaborate, not compete. And I spotted that in you and Lori the minute I walked in the door at that conference. That was my favorite thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tammy, go ahead if you have another question. That was great, Kathy. And
I do.
And
Thank you
BJ.
so much, Kathy, because that is what we want people to leave with. And what I really like is when you said, I didn't even realize I was in the group anymore. The reason why you didn't realize it is because we've just stayed connected, and we don't, even after so many years, we don't necessarily go through the Facebook group anymore. We're just directly calling each other, directly texting each other, directly emailing each other, because what we have established is friendships. We often say that get ready to meet your next group of friends. So I want to ask this question of Robin Reese first. Robin, I know that we have all been to conferences that are very large, and we've been to conferences that are small. Tell me what the advantages to you are of a small conference.
Well, it was more intimate. You were able to connect one-on-one, and I just really, really enjoy the coaching. But even with the participants, we were able to connect on a smaller scale as well, because sometimes you can get lost in big conferences. You see people, you nod at them, but that smaller, intimate, and I love that, you know, because I know people say, why don't you guys open it up to even more? Well, you'll lose that intimacy. And that's how we learned about each other. We learned, I lived in Missouri, so the show me state, you know, and with the conference, how you guys have it set up, you know, we found out people came from various backgrounds for different reasons. And that's good, because in Missouri, we like to know. So in, you know, coming together smaller, we were able to learn that someone just came to speak and do a Bible study. We had someone that just wanted to learn how to public speak. So it just covered every facet of speaking. And in a smaller, intimate group, we were able to connect and help each other and pass different tips and ideas. It was fabulous. So that was a plus, having it so small.
Thank you. And I know that you were a great part of the one that you went to. And what's crazy about the one that you went to at Tahoe is that everybody thought that you and I had known each other for a very long time. Remember? And the truth is, we hadn't known each other hardly any time at all then. But the whole point of having a conference that is small is that you get to know each other quickly. And it's amazing what happens in such a short time when it's a small group. Robin Luftig, would you share with us the advantages? Because you and I cross paths. We're going to go to a conference this year that's pretty big together. So what is the advantage to you of having a small group versus a very large group? Because I've been to those very large conferences, and I've been to smaller ones.
Well, they're both great conferences.
Yes.
You know, there's good things from both. But when you have a small conference like CCC, you can see the hand of God work so clearly that you've, like we've talked about in the first question, we've learned about these new friends. We've come in contact with them online. And now we get to see how God actually works. And, you know, we're all doubters. We don't want to be doubters, but we are. And so when we see that, that just affirms God is with us. God is right here. I see him working in your life because I saw who you were when you walked in. And I'm seeing who you are when you walk out.
Amen.
And it's just amazing to see the hand of God work.
I love what you just said. You see who they are when they walk in, and then you see who they are when they walk out.
Absolutely.
It is incredible. And I remember in one conference, there was one woman who kind of stayed behind the scenes for a while. And when she emerged near the end of it, I mean, instantly, everybody got to know her. And in no time flat, she was right in there with everybody else. She was a writer. Now, I'm going to say this. In our conference, we believe that every speaker is a writer and every writer is a speaker. Writers oftentimes will shun back from speakers because we're loud, we're extroverts, and writers oftentimes are quieter. They step back a little bit before they jump out. But I think what we realize together is that all of us are in this. Every writer's a speaker, every speaker's a writer. We just have to figure out which one is primary and which one's secondary. So thank you so much, Robin, because what you said is exactly what we want people to feel whenever they leave our conference.
Yeah.
Lori.
You're leading right into my next question. Good job, everybody. We just love to see what God does after you leave the conference, because we don't want you to go home, get busy in life, and just sit around. But we see you women, you unstoppable women, we see you launch to the next step. Maybe it's a step, maybe it's a whole new level. So I'd like each of you to share how God used the conference to help you get to another level. And I'd love to hear from all of you. So BJ, just share what God's been doing since the conference a couple of years ago.
Sure. Well, the biggest thing probably right after my CCC conference was my book was published through Redemption Press, and that was just huge. It was unbelievable. I found out like days before the conference that they were going to be there. I didn't know what an author one sheet was. Like, I showed up so ill prepared for this conference. This was my first real speakers conference, and it changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. From that conference, I now have a very active website. I have very active on social media, my personal author speaker page, along with other ministry pages that I'm active in. I've had numerous speaking events, and I've partnered with other CCC sisters, some from my class, some from other classes. And it's been amazing. And I think probably the biggest thing that's happened is, you know, when I got there, there was this talk about, this is your tribe. And when I walked away, it was like, I walked away knowing that I'm not the crazy one. I'm just normal. These are my people. They get me. And it's okay to answer the calling that God has placed on my life, to speak out and to share his truth through my life and my stories. And it was a game changer for me, because I always felt before CCC that I was like abnormal. Most of my friends think I would never want to be on that stage. And for me, that's where I come alive, is on the stage. And CCC confirmed that in my heart, that was a calling on the Lord, and that it was okay to be excited about that and to not think that I was wrong for wanting those things. And because the truth is that we're pointing to the Lord. It's not about pointing to me on the stage. It's about me being on the stage pointing to Jesus Christ. Amen. And it's phenomenal. So that's what's happened kind of since CCC for me.
That's amazing. Great to hear. Kathy, how about you?
Well, first of all, I love your book, BJ. It's one of my favorites. And I also have read Tammy Whitehurst's devotionals. In fact, I love them so much. In 2018, I bought, I don't know, a dozen of them and gave them to all my friends for Christmas. They look great with a Christmas bow on them. You don't even have to wrap them. But I came to the conference because I knew people think as an extrovert and as much personality as I have that I would be a natural speaker. But I'm too verbose, and I don't like the idea of boring my audience. So I find myself to be more of a writer because I love having editors. They trim down my words and help me get my concepts more focused. So I personally love writing better. But because of CCC, I now know where to turn when I need help with a speech. And you don't think of having an editor for your speeches, but I need that. And so like this year, Tammy helped me produce a speech that I'm so happy with. Tammy, I just love that speech. I gave it at the audacious, I can't even remember the name of the conference, but it's on Cross River Media, who's a publisher for my next book, Marriage Conversations. And so I gave that speech there, but I'm still giving it other places, and I love it. It's just so fun to me that you helped me get it to the place where I would be comfortable giving it. And you really helped me trim my ideas so they made sense. You can tell I ramble. Just listen to me right now. Anyway, I'm so happy to have help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so since then I have two books, like the other one's coming out just within the next few days. Probably by the time this Zoom meeting goes out, my second book will also be out. And the first one's right behind me, The Art of Drawing Out Authentic Conversations. So they're both about communication.
Congratulations on that.
Right. Yeah.
Robin Reed.
I feel so much better prepared to do the things I need to after you publish a book, to let people know that message so they want to get more in depth with and more acquainted with your book and your writing. So now speaking is so much easier for me now. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. We love having Redemption Press at the conference, and you can talk one-on-one with Athena Holtz and really get some good feedback on that. So we just love having her as one of our sponsors. She's awesome. Robin Reed.
Well, I can say more confidence, and I'm going to be the unusual one on this Zoom call because I'm not the author, but it also goes to say what your conference actually offers to let people know if you're not a writer, it's okay. Now, there's 4 of us that are on this Zoom that speak for Stonecroft. Well, I speak for Stonecroft Ministries. So what the conference did for me was to give me more confidence, more skills to speak, because I do have 12 groups that I oversee. So I don't have a book or anything like that. But I tell you what, I just cannot thank Lori and Tammy for the skills. I mean, the skills, the tips, the things that you don't think about. And I have to say, yeah, I kind of thought I knew what I didn't know. So the helps, and just to know that you have that tribe that you can call upon. I remember Tammy saying one time I was going to speak, I didn't feel well. She said, you know what, Robin, we all feel that way at times, but you have a tribe to help encourage you. So for anybody that's out there that thinks if they don't want to come because I'm not a writer, I'm not a publisher, you know, just doing your everyday ministry, whatever that may be, leading your women's ministry group, your Sunday school class, your small group, you will benefit from learning these skills to communicate and communicate more effectively. So I would say I got more confidence, and I can't thank you guys enough. This is a conference that you will not regret going to. And I just love how you guys as coaches, you pour everything into us, where a lot of people would want to hold back something of their own. You guys aren't like that. And you see so much more potential in us when we come. We do leave different than what we came.
Thank you. It's our joy. It's our joy to just pour into each and every one of you. And Robin Luftig, we have a couple minutes left. What would you like to add to that?
One of the things that I found out, other than broadening my group of tribe members, which is huge there. But I learned that Satan's lies aren't true.
Mhm.
You know, we have this idea of who we are, and it's just not true.
Amen.
Getting that idea past who God wants us to be into our mind, which is what you do. You always focus on the Holy Spirit and on our Lord. That it takes that peace, those little nudges that Satan gives us, that we don't have what it takes, that we have to apologize for who we are. That, just like Robin said, she didn't come as an author, but she got a lot out of this. And I came as an author, and I got some speaking bonuses from it. So it's a wonderful place to go. You learn more about yourself, you learn who you are, and you learn who you are not. It's wonderful.
I just want to thank each and every one of you for being with us today. What an honor and what a blessing to see all of your faces in one place, to be able to talk with you. I wish that we were all in person so that we could hug. But for right now, I know that a lot of people will want to contact each of you. They want to see what you do. So therefore, I want each one of you to just share how people can connect, because that's what we're about, collaboration. How can they connect with you? Robin Luftig.
Yes, ma'am. My website is fine to get a hold of me at. It's Robin, I'll spell it for you. Robin Luftig is LUF as in Frank, T as in Tom, IG.com. And an email is robin@robinluftig.com. Hope to see you there.
Thanks, Robin. I'm so excited to just be with you ladies. My contact information, you can find me on my website at bjgarrett.com. And my email is me@bjgarrett.com.
Thanks, BJ. Okay, my name, Robin Reese. So my email address is the first three initials of my first name and my whole last name. So it goes ROBREESE@comcast.net.
Thank you, Robin. My name is Kathy Crafty, and that's where you'll find me on the web. Or if that's hard to remember, it's CATHYKRAF as in Frank, V as in Victor, E as in Edward. But you can also just look up Fireside Talk Radio, and that's pretty easy to spell.
Again, thank you all. What a blessing.
Join us at christiancommunicators.com. All of the information is there. You'll see pictures of these beautiful faces there, and so many more things that go on at the conference. We have so much to offer. And if God's nudging you, check it out. Thanks, everybody. Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.